It's time for Ask Mike Mondays. Mike answers one listener's question every week. Here's Michael Becker and Paul Peebles.
Welcome to the Ask Mike Mondays. I'm Paul Peebles, National Underwriter for Old Capital. And joining me today is Michael Becker.
Hey, Paul.
So a lot of people ask, Paul, what is the biggest bang for your buck? I've bought a property and it's been a value-added property. How do I take the money that I'm spending today and try to make it bigger? And so my question really is to Mike, what are the biggest things in buying a value-added property? Where does the good money go to so you can have the largest capital gain on the backside of the deal?
So a whole lot of it depends answer. So everything's kind of deal specific. But
Sure.
As you heard us, both Paul and I reference in previous podcasts, a lot of it's just based off of local submarkets and what the competitors are doing. So, that's kind of where I start, right, Paul? So when we buy a property, what am I, I'm buying a property that hasn't been touched since it was built in 1984, still have the same Allman appliances and original cabinets and laminate countertops. So that's kind of where I'm starting. And then my competitor down the street has gone in and they've, done new flooring, black appliances, backsplash, resurfaced the countertops, maybe done new cabinet fronts. So, I'm trying to really go out and, they're getting $100 more in rent or $150 more in rent than what I'm getting. So I'm just trying to, is my plan to go in and match what they're doing down the street, then if I just want to get their same rental rates and I just do what they've done. What I really like about the apartment business is it's a very, very simple business. It's not always easy, but the concepts of it are very simple. So if my neighbor is doing black appliances and flooring and they're getting $100 more than me, if I do that, I should be able to get the same rents. So kind of, looking at these deals, there's couple different categories and couple different levels you want to take it to. So maybe let's just start with the inside of the units, because that's where a lot of the bang for the buck is really done. Like I mentioned, if you have a very basic tired unit, some of the most effective things that people have done are simply just flooring appliances, and then kind of secondarily, you resurface countertops. You pretty much paint on every turn, as well as backsplash, light fixtures, plumbing fixtures, go from the old gold or brass fixtures to the brushed nickel. Those are pretty high impact, low dollar things that really help drive rental rates and occupancy on these properties. The 2.0 thing that people were doing, once the marketplace had kind of already done that, over the last year or two, a lot of people taken on these 80s deals and either completely took out the cabinets or replaced the cabinets, or just simply do new cabinet fronts. So you get those old white laminate fronts off the cabinets, and then you go put like a wood look, or you stain your cabinets and put new cabinet fronts, or paint the boxes and paint your doors white. Those are some things you could do to really freshen it up, as well as a lot of people have taken old Formica or laminate countertops out and gone with granite. So if you have galley style kitchens, they have this new granite that's 2 centimeters thick, but 3 centimeter bullnose on the front. That is a little bit pretty cost effective, and you can almost even train one of your maintenance guys for a pretty simple straight galley style kitchen with 1 or 2 cuts, and they can install it for you. Kind of on the outside, what people don't necessarily pay for, but they just kind of take for granted and expect, is that you have a clean exterior. So if you have old wood siding and it hasn't been hardied, that's something that you're going to have to do at some point. You may or may not actually get some rental dollars out of it, but it's just what people expect your property, your roof and your siding and all that stuff to be in pretty good working condition. And then over the last 5 or 6 years, we're really kind of coming out of the recession and really have had what a lot of ownership groups have kind of entered into the mini arms race. So really a lot of things that people have done that have been pretty effective are like, first and foremost, go in and get some new modern signage, maybe rebrand the property, change the name of it if you have a bad reputation from the previous ownership group. Then you go into your kind of the window to the property, which is your office. So if you have an old, tired, outdated office, really kind of immediately puts people off. And that's, if you think about it, the office is where a lot of the selling is going to be done on the lease transaction. So having a nice, clean place, updated, modern floorings, good, nice furniture, that's a good place to spend some dollars, because that's where a lot of the sales of the property have. Kind of going out to the pool, almost having a nice new pool furniture, outdoor kitchen, pergolas, those are almost a must now if you're going to have try to command towards the top end of the range of the B and C market. Having that stuff is almost a necessity at this point. And then, now with I'm a Gen Xer, so the younger demographic is primarily, the millennial demographic is primarily renting. And what they have is, maybe they don't necessarily live together as much, have as many roommates anymore. What they do have are pets. So having a pet area, outdoor living areas, dog parks. Those are things that really have come in and have a pretty good bang for your buck. Putting a pet park or dog park in is pretty cost effective. It's not too expensive, and people really love their pets nowadays. So if you don't have good common outdoor areas, those are things that kind of hold you back. Some of the new things that I've seen that we're starting to implement in some of our properties are postal stations where you have these package lockers where, one of the things that, I get at my house, I'm sure you do too, Paul, at your house, is every day I come home, my wife has ordered something new from Amazon. So we have 2 or 3 boxes sitting in front of my house. Well, that's the same thing at these apartment complexes, except that the UPS or FedEx don't drop off packages unattended in front of apartment units. What they do is they've been taking them to the office, and then the staff has to, sign for them, store them, and then deliver them to the tenants as they come into the office. So it's becoming an increasingly challenge for operations for the on-site staff. So what we're starting to do is we're retrofit a section of our office and add a separate entrance, a secure entrance, and then we'll put electronic package lockers where the UPS or a post office can drop off a package in a locker, and it sends an electronic code to the resident that is signed up on their phone, a unique code. They go punch in 24 hours a day and retrieve their package. So it's kind of like the wave of the future, I think, that a lot of the Class A properties are doing that we're starting to implement at some of our properties. So those are some of the effective tips that I've seen that really kind of, drive the prospective tenants to see value in your properties and therefore pay a higher rental rate. So those are some things that we've been doing out there.
Some great information. One thing I do ask, do you guys import stuff from China from some of these interiors?
Yeah, a lot of that, if you're doing big projects by bulk, you can order stuff by the shipping container, either flooring or light fixtures, plumbing fixtures, etc. That's a way to really kind of drive your costs down quite a bit.
So again, Mike has closed over 4,000 apartment units, done over $400 million worth of apartment financing, and his people have trusted him with over $50 million worth of their hard-earned investment dollars. Mike, again, is the smartest person in the room. And so if you have any questions on this or any further questions on Ask Mike Monday, go to the oldcapitalpodcast.com, go to the contact section, ask your question. We'll get it on to a future Ask Mike Mondays, and we appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Paul.